We're talking with Andrew Eklund, the founder and CEO of Ciceron here in Minneapolis, who's going to be at the Enterprise Mobile Summit coming up in February of 2012. Tell us a little bit about the expertise of Ciceron and yourself.
Our specialty is to make sure that we're not so out in front that people don't understand what we do. Right? So, like if I started talking to you right now about the augmented reality app that you need to have on the iPad 2, you should shoot me. Because it's a little bit out in front more than people need to be right now. So I think we're sort of those truth-telling, practical, digital strategy people that are going to put experiences in front of our customers that are actually going to get used and are going to create the results that people want. Sometimes it's really boring, and sometimes it's really exciting.
Tell us, when did you see this shift to mobile become incredibly apparent?
I think that mobile's really new. I mean, I think it's obviously been around forever, but it's been a platform who's waiting for its potential and its time. And I would be honest with you in the sense that I think this summit is timed well because I think this is the year. And I think next year is the year. I think 3 or 4 years ago, maybe not. It was a very interesting time. I think the iPhone and the Androids, really kicking smartphones into high gear. But there was the early adopters.
Well, when you talk about this is the year, this is the year that what happens. I mean, if you talk to anybody on the street, cell phone's been around for a long time. Relatively speaking, not in the big brick phone. Right. So, a cell phone's been around for a long time. Yeah. What makes mobile different than just a portable cell phone or a portable phone?
Well, just the very fact that the computing power in this thing is an amazing device. Again, the fact that you can do pretty much anything on a smartphone or an iPad or that you could do on a laptop, that you have an option. There are plenty of people who do not have laptops anymore that only have, say, an iPad. And I would consider iPad mobile. Over in Europe, everybody has an iPad. And so what I think is interesting about that is, why this year is that for the first time we're actually talking about this with no snicker, that we're actually thinking about we're not going to have websites anymore. I mean, that it's not that far off that building a website that displays on a laptop or on a PC terminal isn't going to be the primary way that people access content and each other. And that just wasn't the case, a couple of years ago. And it is now. And it's much more immediate. It's much more interactive. We talk about social media and social business. This is where the action is, right? It's not necessarily a huge case for B2B, but in the B2C world, over half of all status updates and sharing is happening on this device for Facebook. It's not happening on the Facebook.com. It's at the m.facebook.com or the app. Today, this is not just a one-to-one device. In my particular case, this is 1 to 3,000. I have 2,000 people who follow me on Twitter, and I have roughly 1,000 on Facebook. Of course, all of them close personal friends.
Close personal friends of yours.
And no spam bots or anything like that.
None of those.
Exactly. But let's just say I show up in the marketing numbers as 3,000. Right? If I'm sitting in line someplace, or let's make it even better, I'm at a brand new restaurant, or I'm at a trade show, and I'm looking at $1 million piece of software. Or do they make software anymore?
Yes, they do. It's all man.
Okay. I'm looking at $1 million piece of equipment. And I'm having an extraordinary experience with this, and I can see how this would solve all of my problems. And I go there and I update my LinkedIn community that I have just taken a look at, Robotron 3000. And I know it costs $3 million, but the ROI on this thing is going to be $100 million. And I put that out to 3,000 people. Do you think the manufacturers of Robotron might like that? Right? And so that's not a telephone. That was a broadcast device. And when you look at it that way, to me, I think that's really truly the revolution. You look at the Starbucks of the world, you look at the Dells of the world, you look at the companies that have made sort of the organizational shifts just in terms of how they're structured to enable themselves to be available and to be able to respond quickly and not be all encumbered by attorneys and policy and all this. It only really seems to be, to me, reserved for companies that actually trust one another. So that's really, when we talk about, mobile this, mobile that, to me is if we can't figure out the structural organizational and leadership changes that are necessary for us to even be able to compete in that world, it'll never happen. Or you'll just end up sort of launching an app.
Well, so talk a little bit about how that dovetails into your discussion and your session at the Enterprise Mobile Summit on February 16th, 2012.
Right. Thank you very much. I think that I'm going to hopefully not talk at all about technology. And I really do want to talk about not only the challenges that we've encountered in terms of helping companies transform themselves, but a specific roadmap that's worked for us, non-proprietary, that just kind of discovers all of the roadblocks and then breaks through those roadblocks at the organizational level to really make things happen. It has a lot to do with how clearly are we defining what the opportunity is. The opportunity isn't to go mobile, right? The opportunity is to use mobile to bring about a new level of customer delight that we've never had, or to solve a problem for our business and for our customers that's revolutionary. Mobile just enables it, right? And how do we build teams that are interdisciplinary? How do we take this stuff out of marketing or out of IT and develop new groups of people who collaborate and interact with one another and have a big set of ears that are listening to the metrics, which is then listening to the customer, and then being responsive.
In your opinion, what companies should plan on coming to the Enterprise Mobile Summit, and what should they expect to learn when they're there?
Well, I think companies sort of, at this point, sort of have an intuition that they know this is real for them, and that there's a sense of urgency about it. Sometimes it's driven because a competitor launches an app that everybody's talking about, and that's the reason, right? Other times it's because they actually truly do believe that they're a leading company and that they have to operate in the relevant spaces that their customers are. And frankly, their websites and things like that sort of feel a little 2003 right now. And they themselves personally realize, you know what, I haven't been to our website in a year. It doesn't have utility or whatever it might be. And I think there's a sense, so I'd say companies that are feeling sort of an uneasy sense of urgency about this, I would say believe your gut. Believe your gut. There's something real there. And then finally, the people who really need to be at this conference are decision makers. Because if you're not, then you're just going to be banging against that door again. Things have to happen fast. You have to operate under the assumption that you're behind, and that the consumer has a choice to do business with you or somebody else, and they can make that choice very rapidly. And increasingly, it's all about whether or not you're easy to do business with.
So what do you say to the company who says that, I've missed the boat, mobile has already sailed, it's just best if I, just keep doing what we're doing and do the best I can?
It's a good time to retire. There are plenty of other things to do. I haven't played my guitar in years.
All right, sounds great. Well, listen, Andrew, thank you very much.
Andrew Eklund from Ciceron, who will be at the Enterprise Mobile Summit. We encourage you to accept your invitation and join us on the 16th of February, 2012. Thank you very much, Andrew.
Thank you.